side so that we kick off. Again, today we are having a session here, and in case somebody gets dropped off or whatever challenges you might have, we also are having it live on YouTube. So whichever platform you wish to stream it on, you're free to use either of those. We don't want anybody to miss out on any bits. Yes, so Ngari, over to you, and thanks also for joining. We are looking forward.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Levitz. Good evening, all. I hope you had a wonderful day. Welcome to our today's session. I hope for the last 2 days, you guys have learned a lot. Yeah, I know that was quite intense. And today we finalize on our training. So it's my prayer that by the time we are ending this class, we'll be somewhere, matters, data, analytics. So yesterday we started on, or we were finishing up on Excel. So we've been looking at the different tools of data analytics. We covered Excel. We finished that yesterday. And now we're going to cover Python and SQL. And I'm hoping this is going to take the shortest time because it's not as intense. Our main focus is on Power BI today. So in case you have a question, again, as Levitz said, we have a link that has been shared. Kindly write down your question there. Then it's going to be answered. We're going to document the responses and then send them back to you for just to make sure that we save on time today. Since it's our last day. So karibuni sana, and I hope you're going to enjoy today's class. Now, Python for data analytics. We said this is just a recap. Python is one of the most widely used programming languages. And when it comes to data analytics, it's one of the major languages that is used. So Python itself is a programming language, which is usually used in, computer science settings. But when it comes to analytics, we apply it because it contains some functionalities that can help us with data analysis. So the reason as to why we prefer Python for data analytics or we go for Python is because one, it is powerful, very easy to learn. You're going to see that. And it is usually supported by a large ecosystem of libraries that simplify data cleaning, data analysis, visualization, and automation. As I mentioned yesterday, Python is usually used for advanced analytics. Unlike Excel and maybe Power BI, Python is usually used for advanced analytics, to mean we do not stop at predicting. We go ahead and automate the system, or we go ahead and automate the model. So that is where Python comes in, and that is where the powerful bit of Python comes in. So why Python for data analytics? One, it helps us in loading and exploring large data sets. You're able to explore large data sets. Number two, we have functionalities for cleaning and transforming data quickly. Remember, we said one of the most important stages, or rather the most important stages in data analytics, is data pre-processing, where we clean data and transform it for analysis. So Python provides such functionalities. We are also able to combine multiple data sets with Python. We are also able to create charts and visualizations, and also build. Now this one is for the advanced bit of it, including machine learning and artificial intelligence, where we can build automated workflows and also apply machine learning models. So we talked about the different IDEs, and we said Python IDE is where we write down our codes. And for our case, we'll be using, the most recommended for maybe a beginner or someone who is, a beginner for training sessions. We usually recommend Jupyter Notebook or Colab, but the most recommended for training is Colab, yeah. Then we have other IDEs depending on the task that you're doing.
We have lost you.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Please confirm that you're able to hear me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Sorry
we
about
can
that.
hear you. We can hear you.
Good,
Yeah,
good,
get
good, good. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now we proceed to Python data types. In Excel, or when you are talking about data analytics, we looked at different data types. So in Python, we have data types, yeah? And Python works with different data types, which includes, we have integer for whole numbers. When you are talking about data analytics in general, we talked about two categories of data. We have categorical data and we have numerical data, yeah? So under categorical data, we had ordinal data and nominal data. Then under numerical data, we had discrete data and continuous data. So discrete data in data analytics represents whole numbers, while continuous data represents numbers with decimals and fractions. Now, when it comes to Python, integers, and the short form of integers is int, represents whole numbers. So anything that is countable, any number that is countable numbers, those are integers. Numbers with decimals are known as floats, okay? Then text data type is known as string. In short, it is str for string. Then we have Boolean type of data, whose these are the true or false values. Then we have lists. A list is a collection of items. For example, in our case here, we have products equal to. So this one are usually enclosed in a square bracket or in square brackets, then separated by commas. So this here is a list, okay? Enclosed in a square bracket, then separated, then the entries or the components are separated by commas. Then we have dictionaries. Dictionaries, this is data stored in key value pairs. And we usually, for dictionary, it's usually stored in pairs, okay? Then it's enclosed in curly braces. Curly braces, curly brackets, okay? So I want you to see the difference. In list, in square brackets, in dictionary, we have curly braces, then the components are in pairs. So for example, we have the name, then what is the name? James. So it usually takes the format key and value. So we have the name, James, age 30, region, coast, then enclosed in curly brackets. I hope that is clear. Those are just but examples or the major types of data, the major data types in Python, yeah? Then what are the fundamentals of Python? If you are to use Python, what are you supposed to, when it comes to basics, what are you supposed to know? One, we have variables. So variables, a variable is used to store information. That is the information created the moment first you assign a value to it. So for example, if y equals to 5, so we've assigned y to 5. So our variable there is y, okay? A variable is used to store information. I give you a very simple example. If you assign y to 5, yeah? If you assign y to 5, so our variable there is y. And we have another example here. So sales equal to 50,000. So the equal sign here is an assignment operator. We are able to assign 50,000 to sales. The equal sign here, we are assigning region to Nairobi. So Nairobi is our value, but the variable is region. I hope that is clear. So those are variables. And we usually use a lot of variables when it comes to Python because You just don't write 5, you just don't write Nairobi. We want to know what, if it's y equals to 5. The 5 there is just a value. You cannot just use a value as it is. You have to assign it to a variable. Or rather, you have to create a variable for it. Yeah. Then we have operators. Operators in Python, these ones, they are used to perform operations on variables and values. So what operations are we performing? Operations such as arithmetic operations. So if you want to add value 1 and value 2, value 3 and value 4, you want to do some addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, all those arithmetic operations, and those ones are arithmetic operations. We also have assignment operators. Assignment operators is something like equal sign here. The equal sign, now, equal sign in Python does not mean equivalent. It is an assignment operator. I hope that is clear. An equal sign in Python does not mean equivalent. It is an assignment operator. I hope that is clear. So that is assignment operator. Then we have comparison operators, which include equal to, less than, greater than, and so on and so forth. Anything to do with comparison, that is a comparison operator in Python. Then we have logical operators. Logical operators are either and, or not. There are 3 of them: and, or, and not. Those are logical operators. And we have some others, but those are the major operators in Python. Then another fundamental in Python is comments. So in Python, we are writing code. But then if you want to code, kindly mute if you're not muted. Thank you. So if you want to explain your codes, you can write a comment. And how do you write a comment? You start with a hash. So it's hash, then you explain your code. Okay, hash, then you explain your code. So once you put a hash on anything on that script, Python is going to ignore it. It's not going to be run as a code. It's going to be taken as a comment. Okay, so we usually use comments in Python for explaining your code, or for your, it's up to you to know how you want to use it. If you want to remember something, you can just write hash, then you write whatever you want to write. It's not going to be run as a code. It's going to be ignored. And it is very important, especially when you're doing your data analysis. Maybe I can show you something here as we continue, just to see how important it is to have a comment. It's as simple as, let me just use this. Okay, great. For example, so we are trying to import packages here. So if you want to explain whatever is happening on this code, you use this comment here. So you realize you start with a hash symbol, then you write down your comment. Now this one is explaining that whatever you have on this cell, we are trying to import the required packages. As simple as that, just to make your work clean or neat, something of the sort. I hope that is well understood. Then the other basic, or rather another fundamental in Python is the Python output. So we use a print function to display text or output values. So if you want to output, or if you want to get the results of maybe whatever you are working on your code, you use the print function. Yeah, the print function. So for example, if you used print hello world, it's going to give you an output of hello world. All right, I hope that is clear. Then if you want to run your cells in order, especially in Colab or Jupyter, each cell must be run before moving forward. Just do it systematically. Start with the first cell, go to the second cell, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I hope that is clear. And maybe something that I need to mention under Python data types, I've remembered, under text type of data, in Python, you have to put it under quotation marks because it is text data type. For it to be recognized as a, as a text data type, you put it under quotation marks. That is for text data type. But for the rest, that is okay. I hope we are clear up to that point. Those are the fundamentals of Python. And now we proceed to Python libraries. You're going to allow me to just go through this very quickly because this is not our main focus. So that is why I'm trying to rush through Python and also for SQL. Excuse me. So we go to Python libraries. So what are Python libraries? So a library in Python is a collection of ready-made code that you can use without having to write everything from scratch. So assuming, now I want to give an analogy of assuming you have a toolbox. A toolbox contains different tools, yeah? So the same thing is applied in Python. We usually use libraries as a tool. And this tool contains the codes that are used to perform a certain task. Instead of you writing the entire code, you just call in the tool, or rather you call in the library into your working environment, and it's going to load all the functionalities that are found in that library. Are we together? So libraries save time, they reduce errors and make it easier to perform complex tasks such as data analysis, visualization, automation, and machine learning. Again, in Python, if you want to perform a certain task, what do? You use libraries. Libraries contain ready-made codes. Instead of you writing the entire code, for maybe creating creating a visualization, you just call in the library into your working environment. Then you'll be able to operate. I'll show you how we go about that. But those are libraries. They just contain ready-made ready-made codes, sorry. So why do libraries matter? One, they reduce development time, instead of writing the entire code. Number two, you're able to perform powerful tasks very easily. Yeah. Number three, they ensure consistency and accuracy. Why? Because the code is already there. It is already inbuilt, so you don't have to write it. Of course, when you're writing the code, there's a likelihood of you doing what? There's a likelihood of you maybe missing out on something, hence causing errors. So to avoid that, you just use a library. And of course, it enables automation for advanced analytics. I hope that is clear. So we have quite a number of libraries in Python, but the most important library for our case, matters data analytics, is the pandas library. Yeah, so we have the common libraries that we have and their applications. So we have pandas, which is used for data manipulation. So pandas is going to help you load in your data, that is the first thing, or read in your data into your Python working environment. Number two, it's going to help you with data cleaning. That is where the data manipulation comes in. Under manipulation, you'll be able to understand your data. If you want to get the information about your data, how many columns do we have? How many, what entries, how many entries do we have in our data set, and so on and so forth. Number three, You can also use pandas for analysis when it comes to summary statistics. Summary statistics, I hope you can remember, the mean, median, mode, range, maximum, minimum, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And it also supports working, it also supports working with tables or data frames. That is pandas. Pandas is the most important tool or library in Python when it comes to data analytics. Yeah. Then we have NumPy. I'm just going to brush through. NumPy is used for numerical computations and mathematical operations. And this one is usually applied in cases of data science. Yeah. Then we have Matplotlib. Matplotlib is used for creating visualizations. Creating, I'd say, basic visualizations in Python. Then we have Seaborn. This one is used to create advanced visualizations in Python. So it is built on Matplotlib. Yeah. Then we have scikit-learn. That one is used for machine learning. What does it mean? It contains the codes or the functions that are needed for machine learning. Yeah. Then we have stats model for statistical modeling, hypothesis, and econometrics. Then we have requests and beautiful soup. This one is used in cases of web scraping. Those cases where you need to get data from a website, that is what we call web scraping. If you want to get your data from there, what you do, you call in the beautiful soup or the requests library. Then we have the SQL Alchemy. This one is used to connect Python with databases such as MySQL, PostgreSQL, and SQL Server. And we also have something else that is called SQLite. SQLite is used to connect Python with Colab. Connect SQL with Google Colab. Okay, these are just but a number. They're very many, by the way, but our focus today is going to be pandas because it is the most useful, or rather it is the most important library in data analytics. So pandas, again, it is used for loading data from CSV, Excel, SQL, and JSON type of data. It also contains functions that will help with cleaning and transforming your data. It also contains functions that help in handling missing values. It also contains functions that filter, sort, group, and summarize data. It also helps in merging and joining data sets. And it also helps to prepare data for visualization and machine learning. Why is pandas the main tool or the main library for analysts or for analysis? One, it is very easy to use and you're going to see that. Number two, it works perfectly with real-world data sets, handles large data sets faster than Excel, reduces repetitive work through automation, and also integrates with visualizations and machine learning libraries. That is pandas. So how do we go about reading data in pandas? Now, before we proceed, I want to remind you the procedure. The procedure of, I don't know if you can remember the data analytics process. The first thing was understanding the problem. Number two was doing what? Loading your data or data collection. So we've we've collected our data, and our data is in different formats. It could be an Excel file, it could be a CSV file, a JSON file, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So for you to come from having an Excel file to being able to load in, or rather to use it in Python for data analytics, how do you go about that? That is where we do data loading. So data loading in Python, we usually use pandas. So first thing first, before you load in your data, you have to import the required libraries. You have to import the library that is going to help you load in the data into the Python working environment. I hope that is clear. So how do we, for us to load in, kindly mute. For us to be able to do that, we have to call in the library into our working environment. So I'm going to show you how we go about it. Then we're going to perform that. So now this is, if we want to, first of all, you have to import the required libraries. How do you import that? How do you import pandas? The function, or the syntax rather, is import pandas as PD. What does that mean? So we are loading the pandas library into our working environment so that we are able to use the functions that are found in pandas. And why as PD? Because we are just giving it another name. Instead of using pandas the entire time, we can give it a simpler, we are giving it a simpler, I'm looking for the right term, but we're giving it a simpler name like PD. You don't have to write the entire name, pandas dot something, PD. So you use PD dot something, yeah? And the reason we do this is because any function that you're calling, any function that is found in pandas that you want to use, you give it, you usually use it as pandas dot that particular function. So to make it easier, we are going to call it as PD dot that function. I hope that is clear. Okay, so first thing first, as we are reading in our data in Python, we import the required library. Number two, we load in the CSV file. It could be a CSV file or an Excel file. So this is the function for loading a CSV file. It's PD because we are getting that function from the pandas library, and our data is a CSV file. So it is pd.read_CSV. Now this one is an inbuilt function. It's already there, yeah? So for CSV, it's read_CSV. Then you now give us the name of the file that you want to access, or the name of the file that you want to read into your working environment. If it's an Excel file, it's going to be pd.read_Excel. Then we now load in the Excel file. Okay, and its name. I hope we are together up to that point. So maybe I can try and do something. Remember yesterday we introduced Google Colab. That is what we're going to use. So Google Colab. We're going to get a new notebook. So here we are. So in Google Colab, remember this one is cloud-based. So that is to mean, unlike these other IDEs, which are found, you have to install them in your machine. Now this one, you have to upload the data first of all. You have to upload it. How do you upload it? So we have these icons here. So you're going to select this one under File. Under Files, you're going to come here, under Files. We have this arrow facing upwards that is for uploading. So upload to session storage. So that is to mean that data is going to be there until you're done with this session. okay, this particular session that you're currently working on. So we are going to upload our data, and our data is ICTA sales. So this is our data as it is. So we can close that. So it has been uploaded, but then we have to read it in. We have to read it on our working environment. Are we together? So we upload it. So it's somewhere stored in our, in the cloud. Yeah. But then we have to now call it in. Now, the first thing we said we're supposed to, because for you to be able to load in data, you have to use pandas. So what do? You import the required libraries. So we're going to comment this, import the required library. So we're going to import, the syntax is import pandas as PD. So good thing with Google Colab, unlike Jupyter Notebook, it gives you suggestion. So the likelihood of making mistakes is very little, yeah, unless you're not keen. So we want to import pandas as PD. We can select that. Then, so you realize it's suggesting other libraries like NumPy as, matplotlib.pyplot as, Seaborn as, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So what we do, we are going to run that. So that is to mean the functions that we need from pandas have been loaded into our working environment. Now, we go to now loading data into we can just have loading data. So first of all, we have to assign a name to our data set. We want to give it a data, we want to give it a what? We want to give it a name, yeah? So we can give it a name like df for data frame equal to, so the function for loading data is pd dot read. So you realize we have all these suggestions based on the type of file that you want to load in. Okay, so when you look at our data here, what, which type of file? What file is it? Is it an Excel file? Is it a CSV file? Is it a JSON file? What is it?
Excel file.
It is an Excel file. So what we do, so pd dot read underscore, so we're going to select Excel file into, so we're just going to copy this. We're just going to copy this. So it's supposed to be as it is. So we can come here, select this, just copy path. So it's supposed to be under quotation marks, then you run that. So as long as you do not have any error here, below the cell, then that is to mean it has gone through. I hope we're together up to that point. So this is how you load in data in Python. Yeah. So we have, so what I've done, we have these 3 dots here. You can decide to rename the file, you copy the name of the file, but then you can still use copy path. You copy path, it's going to copy the name of that particular file, then it has to be under quotation marks for it to run. I hope we are together up to that point. Then we add another code. What is the other thing that we can do under? under pandas. So under pandas, we can display. Now we said pandas help with, they help with, what is it called? Data manipulation. So if you want to understand how our data looks like, we want to view our data. So we can have, maybe if you want to display the first 5 rows or the first 10 rows, we have a function for that. Yeah. So the function for displaying the first rows, even before I go to that, maybe we can just show the basic information. How do we show the basic information? The code for that is .info into brackets. .info into brackets is going to show you the basic information of your data. But now, what happens, you realize this is the code here. It's, it's df.info. So that is to mean what we have to reference. What information do we want? We want information about the df dataset. So that is why we have df.info. So the dot there is used as maybe something for referencing back. Okay, I hope that is clear. So what we do, we come here and show a basic information. So what we do, we reference, it's df.info. So we have that function here, then into brackets, then you're going to run that. So when you run that, this is what you get. So our data set is a data frame. It contains 201 entries from 0 to 200. We have a total of 15 columns, and then these are the details of the column. So order ID, we have 200 entries. They are non-null. Then the data type is float data type. Then we have full name column, so on and so forth. Then you have email, order date. So you realize there's supposed to be 200 of them. But then something like order date has how many? 196. So that is to mean there are some missing values there. Yeah. Then we have quantity, we have 201. Unit price, we have 201, yet it's supposed to be 200 entries. I hope that is clear. So we have the, the number of entries. The number of entries, are they null or null? Then what is the data type? Float data type, object data type, is it integer, and so on and so forth. That is how you get the details of our data. Then maybe we can add something like, we had another function here, and the function is, if we want to display the first rows, we want to just get a glimpse of how our data looks like, we can use the .head function. The .head function is going to show the first 5 rows. Okay, the .head. But if you want to get the first 10 rows, then inside the brackets, you can specify, we want the first 10 rows. So it's going to be df.head into 10. I hope that is clear. So we can do, show the first 10 entries. So you're going to have df dot head and we want the first 10 rows. The first 10 rows. So here are our first 10 rows.
Mari, sorry, somebody has, sorry to cut you. I think Rose is requesting to speak. I don't know if you'll allow.
Okay. Yes, Rose?
Hi, Wagari. I have a question.
Hi. Yes.
When we ran df.info up there.
Yeah. Here.
Okay. The records, are they 200 or 201? Because I understand that it starts from 0. So that makes 201, right?
Yes. So we have 201 entries because it includes the column names up there. Yeah. But in real sense, our entries are from 0 to 200. I mean, they are 200. So this is our data set. Okay. So we have 201 entries because it includes this, but in real sense, from our entries themselves
Okay.
should be
Understood.
200.
Understood.
Is that okay?
Thanks. Thanks.
Okay. So we come back here. Thank you for that, Rose. So these are the first 10 entries. Now the other bit is, now the first 10 entries. What if you want to display the last 10 entries? What do? You use df dot tail into 10. So run this. This one is going to show you the last 10 entries. And that is what we have. Okay. That is under displaying the first rows. Then, of course, now when it comes to performing summary statistics is very important. We use the .describe function. So the .describe function is going to generate the mean, maximum, standard deviation, percentiles, and count of the entire data set. So maybe we can try that. Where is it? So we add a code here. df dot describe. Yes. So we run that. It's going to show us the summary statistics of each and every column. But you realize something like order ID, order date, we really do not need those. We don't need we don't need their summary statistics because they are not numerical. Yeah. But now, if you want to perform, summary statistics in Python, you use the .describe function. And if you want to, actually, the next thing that is tackled, if you want to calculate the average or the mean of a particular column, what you do, you have the name of your data frame, df, then you subset that particular, or rather subsetting or selecting the particular column that you're focusing on, then you use the .mean function. Then it's going to give you the average of that particular column. The same thing for sum, you just subset. So how do you subset? You use square brackets. You subset using square brackets. Are we together? You subset using square brackets. Maybe I can just copy this to save on time. Come here, add another cell. But then you have to be sure that you have such a column here. So from our, the information that we have about our data, we do not have such a column. So we can decide to use this column. I'm just going to take the name as it is and have it pasted there. Sorry about that. So I've copied the entire thing, yet it's not supposed to be that way. Okay. So let me just have this df square brackets. So you realize, so if you're typing it, our data frame is df square brackets. It's going to show you the columns that are found in your data, right? Then you're going to select which column do you want to perform its average. Select total amount, then dot mean. You select that, then you add the brackets there. Then you can run that, and now the mean is 81,807.5. That is the mean of the total column. Yes, yes, Nakisanze. You have a question?
Yes,
I don't know if
I have a question. I have a question.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. My question is, if let's say my interest, let's say I'm trying to transfer this data to from the Excel to the database, and I want to use this Panda. Is it possible to achieve that?
So you want to transfer the Excel file to a database?
Yes.
Okay, so for that, you can use pandas, but then if you're using Python, you have to connect Python to SQL or your database, whichever database that you're using, you have to connect it for you to be able to transfer it there. Is that okay? For you to be able to load it into your database, you have to connect, or rather you have to integrate Python and SQL.
Okay, that's clear. That's okay.
Okay. Thank you for the question. So that is how you go about that. And we have a number of functions that you can perform. If you want to group by, you want to group cells by region, we have the group by function. How are you grouping by? The region. And what do you want to get? The sum of, or the total sales of the amount column. So I'm going to share these materials. Actually, you have the materials. You can just use the codes as they are. The most important thing was, how do you read in data into your working environment, and then how do you go ahead and manipulate data? All right. I hope that is clear. Now, why Pandas is a game changer? When it comes to tasks, it handles large data sets. When you compare that to Excel, when it comes to handling large data sets, Excel is a bit slow, while Pandas is faster. When it comes to repeating your cleaning, you have to do it manually in Excel, and you saw that. For Pandas, it's automated. When it comes to merging data sets, Excel requires lookup, while Pandas, you just need a one-line code. For building summary tables, you have a pivot table. Then for Pandas, you have group by. When it comes to reproducibility, Excel is difficult, but Pandas is fully scriptable. Okay, that is why we prefer using Pandas. So so that is all about Pandas. It was just a brief overview of what Python entails. So if you want to get deeper into Python, maybe you can consider joining our program, which is supposed to start in December. These are the things that we'll be covering, and we are going to do them in depth. So I'm hoping that you can consider to join. Yeah. So when do you introduce Python in an organization? One, when you're handling many files repeatedly. Number two, remember we said you can use it for multiple data sets and large data sets. Number two, when data cleaning tasks are repetitive. Then when you want to work with big data sets, you want to automate the reporting, you want to progress to machine learning or advanced analytics, then you can consider going for Python. I hope that is clear. Maybe I can just show you an example of how we go about, I don't know if I can get an example of something that is a bit simple. Let me see whether I can get something that is going to. Okay, so you load in the data, something that is not complicated, that you're going to see how we clean the data. Okay, maybe I can share a script as I share the materials today, yeah? But that is basically what Python is all about. Now, we go to SQL for analytics. So SQL or SQL is structured query language. And this language is used to retrieve, filter, and summarize data stored in databases. In short, SQL is the tool that is used to access databases. So your data is stored in a database, but you want to maybe perform some operations, such as joining tables. Remember, I said data in databases is usually stored in tables. So you have table 1 and table 2 of a certain database. So you want to join the two tables. How do you do that? You use SQL, structured query language. So think of SQL as an equivalent of asking a database a question, and the database gives you the exact answer. So where Excel works well, while Excel works well for files, SQL works well for large structured data sets stored in systems. So data set that is stored in systems, you can use SQL to access that data. So, and why is it important in data analytics? So you're able to get specific data from huge tables. Unlike Excel, where you want to go and maybe there's a likelihood of you doing it manually, but when it comes to SQL, you just need to write a code, then it's going to get you the specific data. When you want to combine multiple tables, you can use the join function. When you want to filter and clean data before analysis, there is that functionality in SQL, or you can use SQL for that. When you want to summarize your data quickly, there is also a functionality for that. When you want to prepare data sets to export into Excel, Python, or Power BI, SQL is going to help with that. Yeah. So, so these are just but the explanations of how you go about SQL or why SQL is important. And also for SQL, for you to be able to operate SQL, you have to write down the syntax somewhere or the code somewhere. And that is what we call IDEs, the Integrated Development Environments. So where you write and run your SQL queries. So in Python, we have codes or scripts, while in SQL, we have queries. We write down queries. Yeah, remember we are trying to ask a question and get an answer from database. So that is why we call them queries. So we have quite a number of IDEs. We have DB browser for SQLite. Now this one is going to, there's a way, it's online actually, it's cloud-based and it can work, so it's free and very lightweight, works offline, great for practicing basic SQL and good for small data sets. Then we have MySQL Workbench. So this one is used with MySQL databases. It is more advanced and it's a professional tool. It is used in many companies. It supports large databases and multiple connections. Then you have Postgres and PG admin. This one is for enterprise level database environments, used in startups, research institutions, and tech companies. Then SQL Server Management Studio, SSMS. This one, This one is used for Microsoft SQL Server. Then we have Google Colab and SQLite. Now this one is perfect for virtual training. In fact, this is what you're going to use. You don't need to install it because you're working on Colab. Remember, it's cloud-based. Everyone can follow along and you can run Python plus SQL in the same notebook. So those are just but the examples of the different IDEs that you can use in SQL. Now, which are the terms that are used in SQL? One, we have a table. We said data in databases are stored in form of tables. So tables are going to be very common, okay? You're going to use tables. So this is a data set stored in rows and columns, like an Excel sheet. Number two, we have rows. That is a single record, like one sales entry. We have a column, that is a field or an attribute. We have a region column, a product column, or a quantity column. Then we have a query. What is a query? A query is a command. You see the codes that you write in Python. Now in SQL, they are known as queries. So that is a command you give the database to retrieve specific information. Then we have database. That is a collection of tables that store company data. Yeah. So maybe I can show you something. Maybe as we continue, I'm really trying to time because we have quite to cover in Power BI, but I'll be done in a short while. So I want to show you, so I have my SQL workbench here. This is a database. And this database, so this database, this is a database, yeah? So this is how it looks. We have file, and a file, we have, do you want to create a new model, a new query tab, a new open an SQL script. Then we have edit. If you want to edit your SQL script, you have to view the queries, the different queries. Then we have a database, yeah? So I want for you to start operating on a database, you have to connect it. So first thing first, this one is an IDE, or rather, this one is a server. Now, in this server, we have a database. So for you to be able to operate through a database, you have to connect to that particular database. So you select connect to database, then it's going to ask for some details. Of course, databases usually have those, what are they called? Logins. You have to log in, yeah? Depending on what you're working on. So for my case, it's going to ask for what is the server name and then the password. Then you put in your password and you now proceed to, now you can access your database. So in your database, I have a number of databases here. And if I selected electronics, so if I select the electronics, so we have the different tables that I have in my electronics database. So I have table number 1, which has orders, and table number 2, which has person's details, yeah? Then we have the views, we have the stored procedures. If you have, you know, the scripts, the scripts that contains that contain different queries, and then the functions. So the same thing for this other database. This other database by the name online movie rating. It has quite a number of tables, the movies, ratings, and reviews tables. So that is basically how database looks like. Then this is where you write down your codes, or rather your queries. This is the editor. This is where you write your queries. Okay. So I'm just going to go through the queries that we have here. The most important queries or the most important SQL commands are, number one, create. Create, this one is used to create a new database object. Commonly, it is commonly used when you're creating a table. So the function here is create. What are you creating? Table, you create a table. So you have to specify, I'm creating a table, and then the name of that table. So we want to create a table by the name table underscore name. Then what are the entries? The entries are in column one. Column one, we give it a name like region. What data type? Is it a character data type? Is it an integer data type? Is it we have different types of data in SQL. Yeah, so you have to specify the column name and the data type. Then after every SQL command, you put a semicolon. Do not forget to put a semicolon. Are we together? That is one thing that you're not supposed to put, that you're not supposed to forget. You have to end it with a semicolon. That is for creating. Then we have select. Now select usually picks column, or rather picks columns. It usually picks columns. And so for example, we select a column by the name region, product, total amount. Those are the columns that we want. Where are we selecting them from, or where are we getting those columns from? From the table sales. Okay, so we are trying to retrieve some data. We want the region column, product column, and the total amount, and we want to get this information from the sales column. From the sales table. I hope that is clear. That is select query. Then we have the where query, the where query. This one is used to filter rows. Yeah, so you want to select particular rows. So what you do, so I'm just going to give this example here. So you select, in our case here, the syntax is the asterisk there represents everything. You realize in this select example here, we give the specific columns that we want. But in this one, we want to get everything. So select all, the asterisk there represents all from the sales table where, so we have the condition. What is the condition? Where the total amount in the total amount column is greater than 50,000. So that is to mean whatever we are going to retrieve, they are going to be rows whose total amount is 50,000. So that is to mean we're going to get a table with rows that only contain total amount. Under the total amount column, they satisfy this condition, should be greater than 50,000. Then you close with a semicolon. Then you run the code. Okay, then we have order by. This one is used to sort data. How are you sorting data? Is it in an ascending order? Is it in a descending order? Then we have group by, and group by is used to summarize data. So for example, select region. Then we want to get total amount, but for this total amount, you want to get sum of total amount as total sales. So that is to mean we've given this name, we've given the sum of total amount as, it should be total sales. So it's going to be it's going to appear as total sales. So we have region and total sales from the sales table. Then you group by region. Okay, so we are trying to summarize by there's what? There's the condition of whatever we get or whatever data that you're trying to get, it should be grouped based on regions. Then we have the count function. And a count function, you just want to count the number of rows. So select count all from the cells. So this one is going to give you the number of rows that you have in your data or in your table. So those are the most common, the most important and the most commonly used SQL commands, especially in the beginner level. You create, you select, then we have the where for filtering. We have order by for sorting your data, either in descending order or ascending order. So this one is DESC for descending. If it's ascending, it's ASC for ascending order, okay? And those all those functions. Now, maybe something that I need to mention very quickly is, even as I try and wind up on this, the data types in SQL. Remember we said when you're creating a table in SQL, what do? You give the column name and the data type. So that is to mean, then, so we have integer, that one is for whole numbers. So that is to mean if your column, you're giving it the name amount. So it's going to be amount integer, okay? Then we have real or float numbers. These ones are decimal numbers. Then we have text. This is any text or letters. Then we have dates. Then we have Boolean type of data, true or false, yeah? So we said we can work on a collab. If you don't have the Workbench or Postgres, those IDEs, you can just use Collab. And how do you use Collab? You just go to Google Collab, create a new notebook. So you're going to select new notebook, then you upload your files, then you run these files. Now, let me tell you one thing. When you're using Collab, Collab is used for Python, but for you to be able to operate SQL queries on Collab, you have to use a library by the name SQLite 3. That one is going to allow you use all the functions that can be used in SQL. Okay, in short, what we are doing, we're going to use Collab as a platform, but then we're going to be using SQL queries, okay? But for you to be able to do that, you have to import this library. Now, we have this code here. So we loaded our data, so we don't have to load it again. Then for you to be able to create SQLite in memory database, so we want to create a database, a cloud database on Collab. So what do? We give it a function by the name con for connection, equal to SQLite3.connect into memory. That is to mean we are going to create an in-memory database on Collab, right? Then our function, remember the, okay, just a minute, Maria. Remember our database, we gave it the name DF. So we want to access, we now want to make our data be the table that we want to access. Yeah, we want to make our data as the table. So what we do, we are converting our data frame to a database table. I hope that is clear. That is why we have df2 SQL. We give it the name cells. Then for any SQL function to go through under Python, you have to use the connection function. Again, we created a connection here where we were trying to create an in-memory database. So we have created an in-memory database, and now we already have our data. We want to have this data in our in-memory database. So we give it the name cells, then it's going to be in our in-memory database con, then these are just placeholders. So if it exists, replace. If it doesn't exist, it's just going to be stored there. Are we together? Then you can now call in your function and operate through. Okay. I know this is quite some work, but it's as simple as that. Now, so I'm just going to show you. I wish I can be done by in a short while, but before I proceed, Maria, you had a question?
I was asking the way you are naming the like con and df, I just built you're just naming them according to how you want them, like in Python, how you name your variables or how you define your functions. Is it the same way?
No, it's the same way. You're just defining the way the way you want to name them. It's not compulsory. It's not like inbuilt. It's not inbuilt. So you can have your database as, or rather your data, you can have it as data equal to pd.read_excel, or yeah, something, the way you just want to name them. Yeah, as long as you remember the name and what it means. Yeah, I hope that is clear.
Yes, thank you.
So you're welcome. So what we do, maybe I can run this code. So I'm going to run this code. First of all, because we had already created the collab, let me just load it in again. So in the meantime, import the required libraries. So we have import pandas as PD, then import SQLite 3. Yeah, so you can run that. So I want us to load in the data. So we already have our data there. I want to copy the file. We load in the data. Sorry. So give it the name df, or maybe, yeah, we can just give it df equal to, for assignment, sorry, equal to pd dot read underscore, it's an Excel file, into, so we copy that. Then the next thing is create an in-memory database. And our in-memory database, we're going to, let me just copy as it is to save time. So our in-memory database that we have created and we are trying to connect to it is con. Then in this, so we've created that. Then, so the code, the first code here is for creating that database, an in-memory database. Then we want to now have this data to be a table in that database. Okay, so what do? We have df to SQL, so we are kind of converting it to an SQL table or a database table. Yeah, so we give it the name sales, and where are we storing the sales? In the con database. So this is a Boolean type of data, these are just placeholders. If it exists, it's going to be replaced. So if we have an existing table by the name sales, it's going to be replaced. Okay, so we run this. I hope it's going to go through. Yeah, so it has 201 entries. So that is to mean we are now operating through a database. I hope that is clear. Now I'm just going to do some functions, just a few that we have here, so that you can do them on your end as well. So we have, we want to select all columns. We want to select all columns and limit the number of rows. So we want to select all the columns from our data, and we just need 10 rows. 10 rows from our data. Okay, so what we do, I'm just going to copy this, then I'm going to explain the code. So we want to select all columns. Select all the columns from our, I've said the asterisk here represents all. So it's going to select all the columns from the sales table that we've created, but you're going to limit it to how many rows? Only 10 rows. So whatever we get is going to, whatever data is going to be retrieved, we're going to have 10 rows, but all the columns will be there. So we try and run this. Good. So here we are. So we have the first 10 columns. The first 10 columns. There we go. So we've limited it to only 10 rows. Yeah. Sorry, I had said the first 10 columns, but it's the first 10 rows, but we have all the columns. Yeah. So allow me to stop sharing so that I can see we have some writings. So we have something like this. Okay. Then let me explain these other codes. So if you want to select specific columns, of course, you need to know what are the names of those columns that you have. So you have order ID, region, product. So you want to select these specific columns. So order ID, region, and product from the sales table, but you only need 10 rows. Okay. The same thing for filtering. You select all the columns from the sales table, but you have a condition where what? Total amount is greater than 50,000. Yeah. Then sort data, if you want to sort data, so you can perform all these functions. So you can use this. Kindly just make sure you utilize these codes as they are. They are accurate, but in case you get an error, please reach out, yeah, for us to be able to save on time. So those are the basics of SQL and Python, and I hope you at least have gotten something. That is my hope. Yeah. Are we good? Are we good?
Yes, yes.
Great. Okay, in case you have a question, again, we have that link that has been shared. You can write down your question there. Then you're going to see, I'm going to respond and the document is going to be sent back to you. Now, I want us now to proceed to what we were supposed to cover today, which is Power BI. Now we've come from Python for data analytics. We've seen where it is usually used, and at least we now have an idea of the different libraries or the different tools that are used in Python, depending on the task that you're performing. And for our case here, our interest was data analytics. So we looked into, our focus was on pandas. Then we went to SQL, where we've covered how you operate through databases, how do we create tables, how do we select particulars in that table if you want to retrieve particular columns or particular data, how do you go about that? And those are, SQL is usually used for database management. You want to manage your database. You want to make sure that everything is up to date. You want to make sure that the data is in its right format. We use SQL. Python used for advanced data analytics, that is data science and artificial intelligence. Of course, in between there, that is where we have machine learning. Now we go to Python, we now go to Power BI. Power BI for data visualization and reporting. Now this one is a very powerful tool when it comes to data analytics. Now we are shifting from just data analysis to a place where, remember we said data analytics is basically being able to get insights from data, from raw information. Yeah, so you get insights, then you're able to make decisions. Now for Power BI, we now want to present these insights. So that is to mean we're going to load in our data, clean that data. After we've cleaned the data, we're going to now create visualizations. Power BI is a data visualization tool, but it is used for data analytics. In short, what you're covering now is data visualization for data analysis, something of the sort. I hope that makes sense. Now, by the end of this session, we need to have understood the Power BI interface and connect to different data sources, how to clean and transform data, and also build effective data models using Power Query. We also, by the end of the session, we are supposed to have created interactive visuals and dashboards. Then we're supposed to build and present a complete Power BI dashboard as a capstone project. Now, that is what you're supposed to cover today. So Power BI, as I said, we have the BI part here. The BI there represents business intelligence. Now, this one refers to, the processes and tools that are used to collect, analyze, and present business data to support, decision making. Okay, so what we are doing here is we have our data. We have analyzed our data, but now we are supposed to present this data to maybe stakeholders or the management for them to be able to make decisions. Yeah, so Power BI is the tool that is used in business analytics, and it serves as a data visualization and a business intelligence tool. So that is to mean you're able to have all this done in Power BI. We have all these processes, or rather it provides the platform for collecting your data, analyzing your data, then presenting your data for you. The presentation there is where the visualization bit comes in to support decision making. What am I saying? Power BI cannot be complete without visualizations. You cannot give us analysis results in form of numbers, then you tell us that that was Power BI. No, in Power BI, visualizations have to be there. And Power BI empowers users to collect data from various sources, such as Excel, databases, and cloud services. After you've collected, you're able to, first of all, transform your data, then analyze using a tool that is known as Power Query. After that, you'll be able to visualize your data through interactive reports and dashboards. Then with Power BI, you're able to share insights with stakeholders to support data-driven decisions. Yeah, that is all about Power BI. So it's a what? I'd say it's a full package. It comes with all the things or all the tools that you need for your analysis. and the end goal being visualizing your data to help us make data-driven decisions. So the architecture of Power BI, or rather, what does Power BI entail? Remember, we said it's a platform that contains different tools. So how do we go about analysis in Power BI? So Power BI's architecture follows three main phases. We have data integration. Integration is basically connecting Power BI to the different data sources for you to be able to do what? To load in your data, or for you to be able to use that data. Then after that, we go to data processing. Data processing is where we prepare our data for analysis. Then after that, we present our data. Okay, so these phases use the ETL process. ETL means extraction of data, transforming the data, then you load in the data. Are we together? So what we first do, or rather, these are the steps that you're supposed to follow. So we have the data preparation bit here. This is where you now do data integration, or rather, you connect to the different data sources. It could be from a server, a database, it could be an Excel file, a CSV file, a PDF file, a text file, and so on and so forth. So first of all, we need to integrate Power BI to the data sources. So that is where we have the extraction of data. After we've extracted our data from the different data sources, what do? We transform that data. What is data transformation? It's basically preparing the data for analysis. That is where we remove duplicates. I know by now you know how to go about data transformation or data cleaning. You remove duplicates, you remove missing values, you check for any inconsistencies, you make sure that the data is in its right format. If it's supposed to be a text data, make sure that it's a text data. Like you're just preparing your data for analysis. Once you do that, once you transform your data, you now load it in for analysis or for visualization. Okay, so we have extracted our data, transformed it, then we load it in our data warehouse. Then from the data warehouse, now here at this point, we have clean data. Clean data that is going to be used to create what? Our visualizations. Remember, in Power BI, our analysis is in form of visualizations. Then from these visualizations, we can create a report or even a dashboard. Then we are going to have those visualizations inform the business users, and with the business users are going to be able to make decisions. I hope that is clear. That is the architecture of Power BI. We are coming from data integration, prepare our data, then we present our data. I hope that is clear. Now, we have different tools of Power BI. We have desktop, Power BI desktop, which is commonly used because it's a free package. We have Power BI service. This one is usually paid for, and of course, it has a number of extra services. We have data gateway, we have report server, and we have mobile apps. So Power BI desktop, this one is the primary authoring publishing tool. It is a tool which is available at free cost, and you're able to create models and reports. So under Power BI desktop, this is where you're able to create those reports and also the different data models. And it's usually free. So you can download it and install it in your machine. Then you have Power BI service. This one, the Power BI data modules, dashboards, and reports are hosted in the online software. So it is an online software. And this one allows other extra services such as sharing. You can share there's administration and collaboration happen in the cloud. So that is to mean most organizations use Power BI service. They use Power BI service to, because there is a lot of sharing and communication in between. For Power BI desktop, you cannot communicate, you cannot share your reports, you cannot share, you cannot even create dashboards. Yeah. But for Power BI service, you're able to create dashboards. Now, this one, of course, you need a license to operate on Power BI service tool. Then you have Power BI Data Gateway. This one works as a bridge between Power BI service on premises, data sources such as import, direct query, and live query. So the BI admin installs Power BI. So if you want to access these other data sets and you're using Power BI service, you usually use the Power BI Gateway tool. Then we have the report server. This one hosts paging reports, mobile reports, KPIs, and Power BI desktop reports, and requires updates in every 4 months and is usually managed by the IT team of that particular organization. Then we have Power BI mobile apps. This one is available for Android, iOS, and Windows. And you can view reports and dashboards on the Power BI service report server. So that is to mean for you to be able to use the Power BI mobile app, then you have to be using Power BI service. Those are the different Power BI tools. So what are the components of Power BI? So Power BI, we've covered quite a number. The Power BI service, we have, there's a place where you can, the question and answers. In case you have any query on Power BI, you can write down your question there. Then we have Data Management Gateway. We've said this one connects Power BI service with different data sources. We have Data Catalog, we have Power Query, we have Power Pivot, we have Power View, and Power Maps. So for Power Query, this one is used to search, access, and transform data. So if you want to transform your data, you do it on a Power Query editor. Okay, this is a component of Power BI. Then we have Power Pivot. This one is used for data modeling. Where do you do your data modeling? You do it on Power Pivot. Then Power View, this is where you can analyze, visualize, and display data as an interactive data visualization using Power View. Then we have Power Map. This one brings data to life with interactive geographical visualizations. Then we've talked about Power BI service. We've talked about Data Management Gateway. Data Catalog, this one allows the user to discover and reuse queries using Data Catalog. That is to mean there are queries that were used previously. So if you want to reuse them, you access them, or rather you get them on the Data Catalog. It's a component in Power BI. I hope that is clear. Those are the Power BI components. Now, we said Power BI is a data visualization tool. In your, what is it called? In your definition, if you're asked what is Power BI, you have to start with, it is a data visualization tool. Data visualization has to be there. And we have the building blocks of Power BI, or the key components of Power BI, which include data. Data has to be there. So you have to integrate. You cannot create visualizations without data. So data sets have to be there, or data has to be there. What information are we trying to visualize? Yeah, that is the first thing. Number two, we have to have visualizations. We have different visualizations depending on the insights that you want to display. What do you want to display? Yeah, so we have quite a number of visualizations in Power BI. Then we have reports. Reports, a Power BI report consists of one or more pages with visualizations. That is the key point. So we are coming from data. From data, we create a visualization. Then from I mean, when we combine a number of visualizations, we create a Power BI report, okay? Then we go to a dashboard. A dashboard is an interactive visual, text, and a graphic tile created by, the user, and it contains, we create dashboards from reports. Are we together? We create dashboards from reports. So okay, it's not a cycle per se, but if you were to use a ladder sort of an analogy, we are coming from data. From data, we get the visualization. From the visualization, we get reports. From a report, a number of reports or one report, from a number of reports, you're able to create a dashboard. I hope that is clear. Then we have something that is called tile. This is where each visual data stored in dashboard is referred to as a tile. So a tile is a placeholder for a visualization in a dashboard. So which are the building blocks of Power BI? We have data, visualizations, reports, dashboards, and tiles. Of course, tiles are under dashboards. I hope that is clear. Now, how do we install Power BI? So you go to the Power BI download page. So you're just going to Google Power BI download. So it's going to take you to such a page. Then you select Power BI desktop, then select download free. You're going to get that. Select or click the get button. Then we have the install button. Maybe you can do that on your end. I'm going to share these materials, don't worry. Then you can, so you can see welcome to Power BI desktop screen. Then you can register yourself, like your details. Then after that, it's going to take you to such an interface. So when you run the Power BI desktop, it's going to display the home page or the welcome screen. And you will have successfully installed Power BI. So I want us to look at the Power BI interface, the Power BI desktop interface. That is what I want us to look at. Before I proceed, do we have any question on Power BI? Any question? And are we together?
Yes. Yes.
We're together. Okay,
Together.
sawa. Great.
Yes, we are together.
Good. Thank you for that. Just a second. So the Power BI user interface. So once you download your Power BI and install it, you're going to go to it's going to take you to search. You're going to get such a page. This is the Power BI. It looks like this, yeah, the home page. So I want us to go through this interface and understand what it entails. So we have a file, and a file in case you want to open a new Power BI document. We have it there in case you want to save. You see the way Excel usually has that option of file. So we also have a search for Power BI, for saving, for opening, and all those tools under Power BI, they're found under file. Then under home, that is where we have get data. We have under get data, that is where we are able to access the different data sources that you can integrate Power BI with. We have an Excel file. In case it's an Excel file that you want to load in, you just select Excel file, then it's going to take you to a place where you can now select your Excel file If it's a Power BI data set that is inbuilt, it's found in Power BI, you can select. In case you want to connect to an SQL server. Now under this icon here, or rather the icons that we have here after get data, those are just data sources, okay? Then we have an icon for transforming your data. In case you want to transform your data, you select this, we have a drop down, then it's going to show you the different ways of transforming your data. How do you want it to be transformed? Then we now go to visualization. Under visualization, in case you have a new visual that you want to add, in case you want to add a text box, in case you want, we have quite a number of visuals, we have that. Then we have something that here, after the visuals, we have something that is not as active. These ones are, in case you want to add new measures into your data, existing data, you want to calculate new measures. Those are the different data analytics expressions, or yeah, they are usually known as DAX, data analytics expressions, data analysis expressions. So in case you want to calculate something new or a new measure, or you want to add another column, you usually use that. That one is for calculations. Then we have for publishing. So you create a report, then you publish it. Once you publish it, you're now able to create a dashboard. Okay, so in short, you see whatever we have here. So we are coming from, remember the ETL, when we're talking about the Power BI architecture, we are coming from getting your data, transforming your data, creating the visualizations or presentations. Once you create the visualizations, of course, you publish that report, then it's going to, you can now advance to creating a dashboard. That is the menu bar. I hope that is clear. Now, we have the report field here. That is the first icon there. The report field, that is where you can create, it allows you to create reports. And if it's allowing you to create reports, remember we said reports are created from visualizations, or a number of visualizations create reports. Right? So that is where this is in case you want to create a report or you want to now add visualizations, you use the report field. Then the next bit is data field. So under data field, that is where you're able to view your data. That is the data view or the data field. You're able to view your data. You can inspect your data, explore it, and understand your data in your Power BI. Then the third one, we have the model view or the model field. This is where it allows you, for example, if your data has a number of tables, you want to see the relationship between the tables. So if you want to view those different relationships, you view them under the model view or the model field. I hope that is clear. So we have the report field where you have your visualizations or where you create your visualizations from. Data field, you want to access your data, familiarize yourself, explore the data, understand the data. You just click that. Once you've loaded in your data, you click the data field, then you'll be able to see your data. Then in case you have your data is in different, say, tables, you want to see what is the relationship between table 1 and table 2. That is where we have, that is under the model field, okay? Then we have, of course, if you want to create visualizations, we have these visualizations here on your top right. Yeah, the visualizations. Once you select the visualization that you want to create, it's going to activate the fields pane. So this fields pane, this is where you put in your data, the data that you want to put, the data that you want to visualize. Okay, first of all, you select your visualization or the chart that you want to create. then it's going to automatically activate the fields pane. Then under fields pane, you will be able to drag and drop the data that you want to visualize. I hope we're together up to that point. So we have the drill through. These are just interactive. They're called interactive features in Power BI. These ones, I don't know if you can recall, on the yesterday we visualized under, what was it called? Under Excel, we had a filter function by the name slicer. You realize when you are creating the pivot charts, the different pivot charts, we had a slicer, and the slicer allowed interactivity in our charts. So for us to be able to enhance interactivity in our reports or in our dashboards, we usually use, we have quite a number of interactive, those features, one of it being drill through, another one being slicer, another one being a cross filter. We have quite a number in Power BI. Then, still on this interface, we have this here. So this is a report page. Kindly mute. Kindly mute. Thank you. So this field here is the report field. Automatically, when you open your Power BI, it takes you to the report field. So we have, in case you want to create a number of pages, a number of reports, or rather your report has a number of pages, you just add. You know, like the way you usually have in a workbook, an Excel workbook, we have a number of worksheets, and you can add them as you continue. The same thing with Power BI, you can add the report pages. So in case you need a new page, you just select the addition. It's going to give you a new page. So that is the Power BI user interface. So maybe I can show you one, a real one. So I'm going to select blank report. This is what we have. So we have file, under file, we have open, in case you want to open an existing Power BI file. Kindly mute if you're not muted. Maybe Levix, you can help me mute those that are not muted.
Yeah, I've muted them.
Thank you. Then we have, in case you want to save your file, of course, that is the first thing. I mean, once you open a new file, you want to save it. Then in case you want to share, in case you want to get your data, import data, or export content to a new file, and in case
Please unmute on that.
Okay. Then we have options and settings in case you need to update something about your, in case you want to in case you want to update something, or you have a setting that you need to look at, that is where we have that. Then the blank report, so we go back. So we have the get data. This is the get data icon. So we have different types of data sources depending on the type of file that you want to get. We have them there. And I think that is basically what you are looking at. Now, so these are we have the table view, model view, we have the DAX query view. So the DAX query view is a new one. It wasn't there before. This is where you write. So in case you want to calculate some other functions, you come to the DAX query view. That is where you write your formula. In case you have model view, in case you have a table view, in case you have report, in case you, not a table view, but in case you want to, of course, explore your data or view your data, you select that. And then you have this one is used for coding. In case you want to code your data, we have that, the TMDL the TMDL view, okay? So these two are new aspects. They weren't there before. So initially we had report view, table view, and the model view. I hope we are clear up to that point, and that is well understood. Now, I've tried to explain these ones, so you just need to go through those ones. Okay, so we have data sources in Power BI. So a data source is where you get your data from. So where is your data coming from? So a collection of data that can be imported in Power BI is known as data sets. And through the get data feature, Power BI users can select from a range of data sources, and the data sources can range anywhere from on-premise to cloud-based. Okay, so that is to mean from the data that you have to something that is, you can access it maybe through, that is cloud-based in a server or something. The data can be unstructured or structured. It depends on the kind of data that you're dealing with, okay? Now, where or how do we access this data? So once you open your Power BI blank report, you go to home. Under home, you're going to get data. Then we have a drop down. So under drop down, we have quite a number of data sources depending on the type of file that you want to upload. Is it just one or something? Could you kindly mute? So I'm going to come here under home. So blank reports. So under home, we have the get data. So under get data, we have quite a number. Sorry about that. Let's see. So let me do this. I'm going to. So under home, we have get data. So connect to different or a multiple data sources. It's taking this long. Let me close this. Just a second. So I have that drop down. It's going to show me the common data sources. If your file is an Excel workbook, you select that. If it's a Power BI semantic model, if it's a data flow, so you're importing this from a data flow, a dataverse. This one is a server. If you're getting it from an SQL server, this one is a database, sorry. Analysis services, is it a text or a CSV file? Are you getting it from a web page? Is it a blank query? We have quite a number. There are actually very many data sets, or rather data sources, yeah? So depending on where you're getting your data from, you just select. Maybe I can select Excel workbook. Whatever I want to upload is an Excel workbook. So once I select that, it's going to take me to where my data sets are. Then I can select and upload. Okay, so that is how you go about the different data sources in Power BI. Then so now after we have selected our data, we need to transform this data. Okay, so data transformation again is the process of cleaning, organizing, and preparing your data so that it becomes, we said the reason as to why we clean and prepare our data is to have clean and reliable data. Why? For us to have accurate results. So in Power BI, this happens in the Power Query editor. That is where the data transformation happens, which allows users to shape and modify data before loading it into the data model. Now, this is the most important thing. Once you select your data, you do not go direct to load it in. What you do, you transform it first, then you load it into the data model for visualization or for analysis. So it includes tasks such as filtering, sorting, merging, aggregating, pivoting or unpivoting, and fixing issues like missing values, duplicates, and inconsistencies. So that is what happens in transforming data. So how do we transform data in Power BI? One, we remove unnecessary columns. Number two, how do we go about that? I'm going to show you an example as we continue. Number two, we can rename our columns. Number three, we can change data types. So for example, so you just click on that particular column, then you want to be sure, is it a whole number? Is it a decimal number? Is it a text data type? Or is it date? Then you select the data type of that particular column. The other bit is removing duplicates. So how you go about that, you select, you go to home, remove rows, then you remove duplicates. So that is to mean it's going to remove the duplicates in your data set. Then if you want to split a column, for example, a column has, like the data that you've been dealing with, we have a column that has city and country, the city and country details in one column. So if we want to split that column into two, for us to get a city column and a country column, we have that provision as well. So we go to home, split column. How do you want it to be splitted? Do you want to use a delimiter, or do you want to split based on the number of characters? For example, if you want to split a name column, so you have to consider such. So this one is used for names or combined fields. Then you can also replace values. So how do you do that? You transform, then replace values. This one is useful for fixing errors or correcting inconsistent text. Then we have filter and clean missing values. Remember, so we have different ways of dealing with missing values. You can decide to remove them, or you can decide to replace the values. Yeah, so you either remove them, you remove the null values, the errors, the blanks, or in case you're supposed to replace them, you just replace them. Then after that, once you're done with the data transformation, what do? There's an icon for close and apply. For all the transformations to be effected, you need to close and apply. Then this one is going to load in clean data into Power BI desktop. I hope that is clear. Yeah. So maybe I can show you an example. Going to come here. So first thing first, we have to save this file. I want us to save it. I'm going to save it. Okay, I'm going to save it here. I'm going to give it the name practical example for Power BI. So I have saved it. Now it's a Power BI file. Yeah, so you save that. So once you save that, you come and load in your data. So the data set that I want to use is the CSV file. And the CSV file is the fresh drop sales. So you select open. So it's going to be So we are integrating Power BI to our data source, which is Excel. So you realize so it's going to show you the data that you're trying to load in. We have an option of loading the data directly. If you're so sure that your data is clean, then you can load it directly. But if your data is not clean and it needs some transformation, what you do, you transform your data, select transform data. Once you select transform data, it's going to take you to the Power BI query. We said in the Power BI query, this is where data transformation takes place. Okay? So we've come from integrating our data, and now we have this Power BI query. So this is where we are supposed to transform our data. So we have this column for transforming, and we have the different transformations that you can perform on your data. So in case you need to rename your data, that is, you need to rename your column, in case you need to do what? In case you need to fill in your data, in case you need to replace values, you want to replace errors, you want to transpose your data, you want to split your column. How do you want it to be splitted? We have the different, under transform, this is the Power Query editor. Under transform, we have the different transformations that can be performed. Okay. Maybe I want to see. So the other option is you can, for example, if you want to change the data type here, you want to change the data type here. First of all, you want to check what is the data type. So you right click, and then it's going to give you all these options. So you want to remove, do you want to remove the entire column? Do you want to remove other columns? Do you want to duplicate the column? Do you want to add column from examples? Do you want to remove duplicates in that particular column? Do you want to remove errors? If you want to change the data type, now this is where we have the data type. We have decimal number, fixed number, whole number, percentage, date or time, depending on the data type. If it's a date, is it date and time? If it's date alone, if it's time alone, if it's date, time, and it's time zone, if it's duration, if it's text data type, if it's a Boolean type of data, true or false, is it binary, and we have the using locale. So this is where, in case you want to change your data, you just select its text file or its text data type. We have confirmed its text data type. So we do the same thing for the rest, just to confirm whether it's the data type that we want. So the number of units sold, whole number, price, it's also a whole number, region, it is text data type. And then we have date, it's date data type. So that is to mean the data that we have here is what? Is clean as of now. In case you don't want to add anything, we don't want to split a column, we just want it to be the way it is, then we are sure of that. What we do, you come back to, now, maybe something that I need to mention before I forget. Any data transformation that takes place on this Power Query editor is usually recorded under applied steps. On your right, extreme right, we have applied steps here. Yeah, so anything that you're going to change, it's going to appear here. And in case you want to undo, you just do what? You select the cancellation sign there, then that transformation is going to be, it's going to be canceled. So your data is going to go back to its original format. Are we okay? So any step, any transformation that takes place, it's usually recorded there. Then for it to be effected, what do? You go to File, on your extreme left, upper left, top left rather, we have File, then select Close and Apply. Then once you select that, it's going to automatically load your data. I hope that is clear. It's going to automatically load your data. So it's loading the data. So how do you view your data? You come to the table view. Then this is the data that you want. I mean, the data that you loaded in. That is how you load in your data. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now we have transformed our data. Now we have something that is called data modeling. I'm just going to brush through data modeling. Data modeling is the process of organizing tables and defining relationships between them so that Power BI can understand how the data connects and how visuals interact. So this one usually happens in cases where your data has, or rather you have a number of data sets. So those number of data sets, they're usually recorded as tables in Power BI. Or in cases where you're uploading an Excel worksheet and an Excel workbook, and it has a number of worksheets. So those worksheets are usually interpreted as tables. So we want to see what is the relationship between worksheet 1 and worksheet 2. So that is where the data modeling comes in. So data modeling is done in the model view. We've seen that, where you can see the tables as diagrams. You're able to create and edit relationships. So you want to see how do these two tables relate. I don't know if you can remember yesterday, I mentioned something to do with primary keys. Yeah. So primary keys are the common features, the common, say, columns for our case, the common columns in different tables. So for me to be able to relate with table 1 and table 2, both of them have to have a common column. For example, maybe the ID column in table 1 and ID column in table 2 for me to be able to show the relationship. Okay, so we are able to create or edit relationships, and then we're able to manage the keys. Those are the primary keys, and they are quite a number. Then build a structured data model. So this one's, that data modeling ensures that there's accurate calculations and correct visuals. It allows multiple tables to work together smoothly. It reduces duplicate data and improves performance. It enables advanced analysis and makes dashboards more reliable and easier to maintain. Why? Because you're able to understand the relationship between your data sets. That is data modeling. So key concepts in data modeling, we have primary key versus foreign key. So primary key is the unique value. For example, a product ID or a customer ID, which is usually, it's a primary key, it's an identifier, and it's a unique value. Like your ID number, there's no one else who has such an ID number. So that one is a primary key. Then foreign key, this is repeating values used to link the tables, okay? Then we have, still under data modeling, we have relationship types. So remember we said data modeling helps us understand the relationship between our data sets, yeah? So a relationship tells Power BI how two tables are connected based on a common field. So for us to be able to see the relationship between the two tables, we have to have a common field, yeah? And we have quite a number of relationships. We have one-to-one. This one is where one record in the first table is related to only one and only one record in the second table. Then we have one-to-many, that is 1 to n. This one occurs when one record in the first table can be related to many records in the second table. Then you have many-to-many. This one occurs when many records in the first table can be related to many records in the second table. So we have, how do we create a relationship? You go to model view, then you will be able to drag the common field. For example, if now this one happens in cases where you have a number of data sets, or in cases where you've uploaded your Excel workbook and it has a number of worksheets, then you can be able to create the relationships. Yeah. So you just need to identify the primary key or the common value between the two. Now, allow me now to proceed to the next step, which is the most important bit in Power BI. And I'm requesting if we can extend our time to up to around 8:15. I'm sure we'll be done with whatever we're supposed to do today. Kindly allow me to extend the class up to 8:15. Yeah. Now, we said Power BI is not complete without what? Visualizations. And we need to know which are the visualizations that we have in Power BI. How do we choose those visualizations? And how do we utilize those Power BI visualizations? So visualizations in Power BI are graphical representations of data that simplify complex data sets into meaningful insights. Now, for example, the data that we have here is not as complex, but we might not be able to, if you gave someone else this data, they might not be able to understand what it is about. Also, we have a region, we have a product, unit sold, and then the price. So from that, what are we supposed to do? Yeah, so we have such things. So that is why we usually use Power BI to sort such issues. And they enable users identify trends, because with this data, honestly, you cannot be able to identify a trend. Yeah, you will just see numbers. So we have 20, 10, especially for this case. So we have, okay, we sold 20 units on Monday. Then we sold 10 of them that Monday. 20 units of juice, and so on and so forth. So you might not be able to tell what it exactly means. So you're able to identify trends through visualizations. You're able to identify patterns and relationships, serving as the foundation of effective dashboards and reports. Now, what is the importance of visualizations in Power BI? It simplifies data understanding. You're able to enhance decision making. It promotes interactivity. That is to mean you're able to, to understand your data by interacting with it. So visualizations make it easier for you to interact with your data. Then you're able to improve communication. Of course, it's easier for you to do what? To communicate through visualizations compared to raw data. And then you're able to unveil hidden patterns in your data. For example, you're able to highlight outliers, trends, and correlations in your data. That is why we have to use data visualizations. Now, just like in Excel, in Power BI as well, you just don't select a visualization for the sake of having a visualization. You have to consider some factors. Factor number one, what is the objective of this analysis? Again, understand the problem. What are we trying to analyze? What are we trying to show? That is key. I mean, the first consideration. Number two, the data type. The data type that you're dealing with, is it numeric? Is it text data type, which is maybe categorical? How are you going to, of course, we have for numerical data type, we have charts that can be used for numerical data type. We have charts that can be used for categorical data type. So you have to understand the data type that you're dealing with. Number three, audience profile. Who are you presenting this to? Remember, the end goal here is for them to understand the data. So who are you presenting this data to? Are they people who are familiar with these visualizations? Are they people who are, they're not familiar with these technical things. So you have to make sure that the visualizations that you're using suit the audience that you're presenting to. There are those people, yes, they are top management, but they just need a pie chart for them to understand what you're talking about. They just need a bar graph. You don't have to use a waterfall for them to understand whatever you're trying to explain. Yeah, so you just need to understand what is my audience. The other thing is data volume. How huge is your data? The other bit is interactivity. As you're choosing your visualization, is it a visualization that you can do what? You can easily interact with. So that is where you have to consider, can I add a slicer? Can I add a drill down, a drill through, and all those interactive features? Then the other bit is performance, and then customization needs. So depending on the problem that you're trying to solve, you will be able to tell for this particular presentation, I might need to customize a visualization for them to be able to understand. Customization could mean doing a combo chart, where you have maybe a bar graph, not a bar graph per se, a column chart with a line, with a line graph, something like that. Yeah, you just customize depending on the analysis that you're presenting. So those are the considerations for choosing a visualization. So where do we find visualizations in Power BI? So I have shown you where we find the visualizations in the report view on the right-hand side. On your right side, you're going to have the visualizations pane where you can select a visual type. Once you select a visual type, you drag in the fields into values, axis, legend, or filters. Then you format the visual, and now that is where you're going to build your visuals. So let me just show you as we continue. So we're going to, this is the table view. We go to the report view. On your right side, we have the visualizations here. So once you select, I'm just going to give an example. So you realize we have the visualization here. Then next to it, we have our data, right? So you select pie chart. It's going to activate the fields part. Now this is where you put in your data. You drag and drop your data, okay? So under this, you just select that. Under that, we have now the details of our data. So depending on where you want, now this is a pie chart. A pie chart is used to visualize categorical type of data. So that is to mean you want to visualize maybe the region. So based on the units sold, yeah? So we want to visualize the units sold by region. So the number of units sold, so you bring it there, just giving an example. Then, of course, this is categorical type of data. Then you add it there. So you realize it's actually not supposed to be here. So you add under details, and then we're going to have something like this. So this is our pie chart. A pie chart of what? Of the number of units sold in different regions. Okay, then under that, or you come here, so we have this, the brush here, addition and the brush there. So you can either add or remove visual elements. So this is where, in case you want to add a title, you want to add a legend. Of course, we have a legend, we have a title, and the detailed labels. In case you want to add some more, you want to, increase the size. Where do you position it? The visual border. Now, this is where you do the formatting. Okay, in case you want to add the slicing, of course, that is for filtering. Where do you do that? Now, those are that is how you format the different visualizations. That is under formatting. Okay. Now, we have basic visualizations in Power BI. I'm going to brush through over that. So we have card visual. This one is a single, it shows a single number. Like maybe if you want to show us the total number of sales, you use a card visual. You want to compare categories, you can use clustered column chart. You want to also, this one is, a bar chart is similar to a column chart, but horizontal, and it is best when category names are long, yeah? Then you have a donut or pie chart. This one is for proportions. We have a table visual. In case you want to create a table, we also have that. It shows detailed data in rows and columns. Then you have matrix visual. This one is like a pivot table. You remember the pivot table that we were creating in Excel. So it has a similar concept. Then we have a slicer. This one is used to filter the entire report. So you can slice based on text or categories, or you can slice based on numbers. Then, so how do we build a visual? I have shown you how to do that, right? You click on the visual that you want to create, then you now drag the data that is supposed to go to. If it's on axis, we have the categories, the values. Under the values, that is where we put numbers, that is numerical data. Then legend, that is the key. Legend is the key. Yeah, it shows the different categories. Then you can resize and move the visual. You can format using the format pane and add a title, data labels, and colors. So those are the formatting basics that you can perform. Then how do we enhance interactivity in Power BI? So we have slicers. I'm hoping that you'll manage to do an example where we're going to include everything. So we have a slicer. This one allows users to filter the entire report page. This slicer is similar to what we did under pivot charts. I hope you can recall what we did. Yeah, so how do you do that? You just add a slicer, drag a field, then users click to filter the page. Then you have cross highlighting. This is where you click a visual highlighter, and clicking a visual filters other visuals automatically. This one helps users compare and explore relationships in data. Then we have the filters pane. We have the drill down I've shown you, and drill down is used in cases where you have hierarchical type of data. Hierarchical type of data is like a date. You see, the date has year, month, and day. Yeah. So if you want to get details of a specific day, you drill down to day. If you want to get the details of a specific month, you drill down to month. And if it's just an year, you just select year. Okay, that is the drill down. Now, those are the interactive features in visualizations. Now we go to Power BI reports. This is not as intense. So as long as you've understood how you create visualizations, then reports are going to be easy. So a Power BI report is a multi-page document. It can contain one page or a number of pages. I hope you can recall when we were looking at the Power BI interface, we looked at how you can add a page. And it contains visuals, tables, and analysis created from your data set. Now, what are the characteristics of a Power BI report? They have multiple pages, just like sheets in Excel. It is built on Power BI desktop, and it allows detailed analysis. The other bit is it supports filters, drill down, and drill through, and it is visually rich and interactive. This is to mean it's usually created from visuals. So that is to mean it has a lot of visualizations. And of course, now when you bring in the interactive features, it becomes an interactive feature. Okay, now this one is used for exploring data deeply, building analytical narratives, and presenting different views on separate pages. So you have your data, say the sales data, and you want to create different financial reports, say monthly sales of a particular thing, monthly sales of a particular product, what was the, the profit, all those things. So you can decide to do what? To present different aspects on separate pages. Okay, so different reports on separate pages. So a Power BI. Okay. So a Power BI report includes charts and graphs, tables and matrix views, maps and KPIs, slicers and filters, and of course the drill down interactive features. Where is it created? On Power BI desktop before publishing it online. Okay. So
Yes,
so
madam.
how? Yes.
What is this KPIs? KPIs.
What are KPIs? Someone.
Yes.
What are KPIs?
Key performance indicators that are used to show a single type of information.
Yes, those are key performance indicators. Key performance indicators. So our KPI, in Power BI, we have a KPI card, which maybe if you want to show us like the total sales that were made in that particular year, you just select the KPI. So it shows, okay, total sales could be a performance indicator. It is showing us the total, you realize I'm repeating myself. So KPI, it shows, so we can use sales, total sales as a performance indicator. So we use a KPI card to display the total sales that were made in that particular year. And it shows a single feature about your data. Yeah, I hope that is clear. It's a key performance indicator. We're going to, I'm really trying to see how we can do an example of that. So I have a case study that we are going to use just to make sure that we are familiar with all these things. So how do we create reports? We load in our data. We know how to load in our data. You have, of course, when you load in your data, that is to mean you have transformed your data. Then you add the visuals. You choose a visual, then drag and drop the different data in different fields. Then you can add interactivity where you insert slicers. You can decide to use cross-highlighting or even apply the filters pane. Then you format the report. Formatting is to edit the titles, edit the labels, the colors. Just make sure that your visuals are appealing. Then after that, you add pages if you have a number of reports that you need to create. Then what you do, you save and publish. So it's going to be published to Power BI service. Then from Power BI service, you're now able to create a dashboard. Okay. Now, we have, that is Power BI report. Then you have Power BI dashboards. Now, this one is a single page. This one is single paged. Yeah. It is a high level summary created in Power BI service by pinning visualizations from one or more reports. So we have created our reports and we have published our reports, right? We have published it to Power BI service. Then after that, we now want to create a dashboard. Now, a dashboard is a high-level summary. So assuming your Power BI report had a number of pages. So there are those, because it's a summary, you just want to pick the most important visualizations that you want them to appear on the dashboard. Okay, so what you do by pinning visuals from one or more reports. Are we together? So it is one-paged and it is a high-level summary. So the key characteristics are, it is one page, it shows KPIs and summary visuals. It's interactive, it's real-time filtering, and combines visuals from multiple data sets. This one is used to monitor performance, quick decision making, and executive summaries. So how do you create your dashboard? You have published your report. Once you publish your report, it's going to take you to the workspace, yeah, under Power BI service. So that is where you're going to access these published reports. So you open the report online. So go to Power BI service, open the published report. Then from your published report, pin those visuals. Remember, it's a high level summary, sort of a report, yeah? So you just pin you select those visuals that you want to use. Then you arrange dashboard tiles. Remember we said a visual in dashboard is used, a visual in dashboard is usually placed on a tile, okay? So you arrange the dashboard tiles depending on how you want them to look like, yeah? Then you add interactivity. Interactivity, of course, we have slicers, links, buttons, and so on and so forth. Then share the dashboard. So you click share, enter the emails, and then your team is going to get the dashboard. That is how you create a dashboard. Now we have the differences between dashboards and reports, and I hope that is something that you can recall. And so we use reports when we need detailed analysis. You need multiple pages. You want drill downs and drill throughs, and you're exploring data deeply. But dashboards are used when you just need a single screen summary. You don't need all these, details. You just need a single screen summary. You want quick insights. You want to combine visuals from different sources, and you're presenting to decision makers. Okay, so that is basically Power BI visuals, reports, and Power BI visuals, reports, and dashboards. Then this entire process is known as data storytelling. So data storytelling is basically a practice of combining data, visuals, and narrative to explain insights clearly and driving action. So when you're presenting your dashboard, that is a form of data storytelling. You're telling story through data. So we have data that was there, we created the visuals, then we have a narrative, like you're able to understand your visuals and what they mean. Then from there, we are able to get insights and now make decisions. Okay, that is what we call data storytelling. So how do you tell a data story, or rather, how do you do your presentations? One, you need to know your audience, tailor the message to their needs. You know your audience, understand them. Then identify the key message. What do they want to hear? Or what is if it's a dashboard, remember it's a single screen summary. So what is the summary of all this? Yeah, so one strong takeaway per page if it's a report. Then choose the right visuals, then build a clear flow from data to insight to evidence to recommendation. So the end goal here is we have our data here and we want to make decisions. Yeah, so make sure there is that clear flow as you're doing your presentation. Then make sure you highlight insights using colors, labels, and maybe callouts. Yeah, so that is what we were supposed to cover on Power BI. So allow me to do a practical example. I'm going to share this assessment with you. No. So I have this assessment. I mean, not assessment per se, but a case study for us to be able to understand the essence, or rather how we go about creating dashboards and so on and so forth. So we have a company here by the name Fresh Drop Beverages. It's a small company that distributes water, juice, and soda to 3 major cities in Nairobi. So, I mean, in Kenya, sorry, we have Nairobi, Mombasa, and Kisumu. So the sales manager wants a simple dashboard to understand which region is performing best, which products drive the most sales, whether sales are increasing over time, what is the overall monthly performance. So because the business is still small, the company only has a small data set of daily sales, for January to March 2024. And you have been hired as a junior data analyst to build the company's first ever Power BI dashboard. So how do you go about that? So the objective of this case study, first of all, you need to understand what do they want from the dashboard. Your task is to create a simple, clean Power BI dashboard that answers 4 main questions. This is a dashboard. So that is to mean we have to have some visualizations here. The first question is, which region recorded the highest total sales? First of all, you need to know, do we have a total sales column in our data? So you have to understand your data. Which product sold the most units? So if which region recorded the highest total sales? Of course, you also need to select a visualization. So we have region, and regions are categorical. So that is to mean we can decide to go with a proportion. But then are we going to be able to see the total, the total sales? Do we go for a bar graph? Do we go for a column chart? So those are some of the things that you need to think about. Which product sold the most units? Yeah, so still this is categorical. And you want to see the product that sold most units. So which visualization are you going to use? This is categorical, so you can decide to go with a column chart or a bar graph. So what does the sales trend look from January to March? Remember, yesterday we talked about the different data types, and one of it was time series data. That is time that is collected over a period of time. And you want to see, our intention here is to get the trend. So what do? We use a line chart for that, okay? So from all those visualizations, what are the key insights from the dashboard that you're going to create? So that is what you're going to work on. Right now, yeah? So just give me a few minutes. I'll be done in a short while, kindly. I'll be done in a short while. So first thing first, so I want us to, we had already loaded in our data, right? So maybe we can collapse that. So the first thing is, which region recorded the highest total sales? Which region recorded the highest total sales? So that is to mean you go back to your data and look at what do we have, what are the columns that we have in our data. So we come here. This is our data. So we have date, region, product, units sold, and the price. So you realize we do not have what? You realize we do not have the total sales column. So how do we get the total sales column? Anyone? How do we get the total sales column?
Units sold times price.
Yeah, so it's units sold times price. So that is to mean we need to add a column in our data. Because it's not there, we need to add a new column in our data. So we have these options here. Under home, we have something to do with data transformation, because we need to transform our data. We want to add a new column, yeah? So we can select this, transform data. So it's going to take us to the Power Query editor. We want to add a column, right? And we can either, so when you want to add a column, we have different ways of doing that. So we have custom column, we have invoke customer function. I mean, we have a number of ways of adding a column. But then for our case, the column that you want to add, it's a calculated column, right? Because we are calculating it from the data that was there before. So I want us to maybe close and apply, come back here. We had an option of just so under our data here, data view, we had an option of write a DX expression that calculates a value. This one creates a new column. Yeah, so it's a calculated column. And then we have write a DX expression to create a new table. So we have those options. You can either create, now this one is for creating a new value, a calculated value, a calculated column, or even a table. Then we have on our data, yeah, on the extreme right, we have more options. So under more options, we can decide to have a new column there. So this new column, what we do, we are going to write the formula here. Okay, we're going to write the formula here. So what is the formula? We want to create a formula by calculating, it's a calculated column, so it's units sold times the price. So what do? We give it the name, total sales. We give it the name total sales equal to, from the sales table, I mean from the fresh drop sales table, that is the name of our table. We want to select the units sold, you multiply by, from the table fresh drop sales, it's going to show you the components, or rather the columns that you already have, multiplied by the price, then enter. And that is what we have. So we have calculated a column, or rather we have created a new column by performing some calculations, some DAX calculations. Is that okay? I hope we are clear up to that point. Now we go back to our data and you realize it's going to be updated. Now we have something to do with total sales. Now this is a report that we are creating. So first thing first, I want us to, under visualizations, we have quite a number, but we want to make sure that our visualization, I mean, our report is appealing. Yeah, so maybe you can decide to maybe add a theme. It's under view. Under view, we have theme. So maybe we can have something like this, depending on maybe what you're creating, or the kind of, the kind of dashboard that you're creating. Yes, Rose?
Hi, Wagari. I have a question.
Yes.
So the adding of a new column,
yes,
can be done on the table view, not a must to be done on transform on Power Query.
Yes, that is correct, because in Power Query, you realize there's a way you're supposed to customize your column. But because if you're not supposed to customize your column, and in this case, in our case, rather, we were supposed to calculate from the existing columns. That is why it was easier for us to do it from the table view.
But
Okay?
you can as well do it on Power Query.
Exactly. You can transform it. You can do it on Power Query during the data transformation.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, the question I will ask it at the end.
Okay. So we are here. So what I've done, I've added a theme just to make sure that it's not as plain. Then you come to home. Under home, you want to have, we have different visualizations. So first thing first, we can have, so we have different visualizations here. We have a card, we have table matrices, we have AI visuals, we have bar and columns, depending on what you want to create. Yeah. So I just want to be quick. So maybe the first thing was total sales by region. That is what we want to visualize, total sales by region. So we can use maybe a clustered column chart for that, because it is for categorical type of data. So we look for a clustered column chart. So something like this, for us to be able to do what? To create that. So under axis, so we have these details here. This is where you put in your data, you drag in your data. Under axis, we can have the region. Yeah, so under axis, we are going to have region on x-axis, the different regions. Then, what do you want to have? The total sales. So there we go. So we have something like this. So this is our column chart. Okay, this is our column chart. And this column chart is sum of total sales by region. So this is where, I mean, you can, of course, you can do a lot of formatting for this particular one. But because of time, just let me just do something here. So for formatting, it's there. Maybe you can increase the size, because we don't need a number of them, we just need a few. The other question was on units sold by product. Units sold by product, we can as well use either a column chart, because it's for categorical type of data, or even a bar chart. So we can make it a bar chart. We can just create a bar chart. So let's use this, undo that. So what we do, we create another visual, we add another visualization. Yes. So we're going to add it there. And this visualization, we're supposed to, it's a bar chart. So on the axis, we have the product. Then on the other axis, we have the units sold. So that is what we have. This is a bar chart or a bar graph. Just increase the size. Then the other one was, we want to check whether we can get a trend. So sales trends over time. So that is automatically a line chart. And how do we create a line chart? So we're going to come here, add visual, select that line chart. Oh, so, okay. Add a visual, select a line chart. So then we add the data. So for a line chart, remember it's time. Yeah, we are looking at time. So that is to mean under date. So we're going to, our focus is date and the total sales. Yeah, so we can have dates on the x-axis. Then you're the one to select, do you want it to be yearly? Do you want it to be quarterly, monthly, or day? Because our data is not as much, and it was only for 2024, so the year might not work. We only have 3 months, so we might not be able to tell the trend over a month. It cannot be quarterly, but we can use day. Okay, so we work with day. Then we're looking at total sales. We can have the total sales. So you drag total sales. And we have something like that. So this is a line chart showing sum of total sales by date. So that is to mean you're able to tell whether there is a trend. Yeah. So we are coming from 4,000 to something like 2,700. So that is to mean there was a reduction, yeah, in sales. Then the other bit, so maybe we can have this come there. Okay, let's see. So maybe we can add a KPI just to show the total number of units sold. So we come here, add a KPI. So we have a KPI card. So this card here. So once you select that, so we want to add data. So for KPI, we want to get the total sales that were made in that period of time. So you have something like this. These were the, sorry. So these were the total sales that were made that period of time. So what you do, you just format to add a title. So you just need to add a title, total sales. Then we have something, maybe another KPI card. So we add data. We want to add total number of units sold. So in those 3 months, the total units sold were 175. You add title, total units sold. So you have something like that. And then once you're done with that, maybe we can add a slicer. So our slicer is under visual gallery. We have a slicer here. So select that slicer. You can have the slicer somewhere there. Then the data that you want to slice based on region. Yeah, of course, you have to slice it based on a categorical type of data. Then you can, you can just add the title, something like slicer based on regions. This one is for you to be able to add interactivity for interactivity purposes. So we have KPIs here: total sales, total units sold, sum of total sales by region, sum of units sold by product. Now this one is sum of total sales by day, but then it's basically supposed to show us the trend. So for this slicer, it's supposed to be interactive. So I select Kisumu, and it's going to show me the details for Kisumu. So in Kisumu, in that particular period of time, we had total sales of 3,000. The total units sold in Kisumu were 60 units. Then it's going to show us the details. And of course, now the trend in Kisumu. So you realize in Kisumu, the first month was up there. Then the second month was down there. Then the third month, the sales rose. So you're able now to give us from this, you can now give us insights. Then once you're done with that, you're supposed to publish. So do you want to save the changes? Now, the reason it's asking that is because now we're going to switch to Power BI service. So once you publish, it's going to take you to MySpace. You select that. It's going to take some time. So it's connecting to Power BI service. Just a second. It's supposed to take you to the Power BI service online. That is where you now select that is now where you select the so you open that. So you have to sign in. So unfortunately, I might not be able to sign in at the moment. But once you're able to publish that, then you'll be able to. It's going to take you to a place where you can select the. What are they called? The key visualizations that you want to have in your dashboards. Then you pin them on the different tiles, something like this. Yeah, something like this. Then you can now share it with your colleagues, or how you do it at your workplace. So this is just but an example. I know it's not as beautiful as it should be, because you need to maybe add a title. There are quite a number of things that you can do under Power BI and creating a Power BI report. There are quite a number of things that you do, but these are the basics. Okay, so that is basically what Power BI entails. Now, the thing is, or the most important thing is, you have created those visualizations. Are you able to tell, what they mean? Yeah, are you able to explain what they mean? Yeah, so you just need to understand what you're supposed to present, or the objectives of that particular analysis. Then when it comes to explaining, it's going to be easy. And make sure you use the, the interactive features just to make sure that you're able to make your presentation interactive. Is that okay? Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, great, great. Now that is just but a glimpse of what Power BI entails. I'm trying to see whether I can open something that I've done before. Let me see. Okay, let me see whether.
Wangari, as you open, can I ask a question?
Yes.
In a situation whereby probably you want the user to generate their own report from the service, from the BI service, does the BI service has a self-service option where a user can automatically, instead of me as a data analyst generating the visualization for them, they just do it for themselves?
Unless you automate the process, you can decide to automate the process. Yeah, but then that is to mean you come up with a template. Once you come up with that, for example, now this is what happens in organizations where they have databases. So you connect or you integrate Power BI with your database. Once you do that, so once the data gets inside, so in short, you just automate the entire process such that every month they know what, of course, you have to have created a template for them. So something like this, if these are the details that are supposed to be found in the, the monthly report, you automate the process. The data gets in, you schedule which date are we supposed to get these reports. Then the data gets in, it's analyzed, the visualizations are made, the reports are made, then they are pushed directly to, now for that case, it has to be a report. Then it's up to you to now push it to, you publish it for it to appear as a dashboard. So for a report, yes, you can do that. You can automate the process.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yes, Brenda? Brenda, you're raising your...
A quick
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
When you're generating dashboards, do you have to sign into the Power BI because maybe you are using not a licensed one, like you don't have the license, so you're using the desktop version of Power BI? Yeah. So how do you go about that?
Yes, you have to use Power BI online service, Power BI service, which you're supposed to pay for. So, and most times, so as you've seen, I cannot log in through my personal account. Either I log in using my work account or school account. So for you to be able to generate dashboard, it has to be on Power BI service.
Okay, sawa,
Yes,
that's noted.
Okay, sawa, Brenda. Rose?
Okay. Wagare?
Yes.
My question is, okay, let's assume I'm getting data from SQL Server, and maybe there are two tables that I am reading to Power BI. Then must I? Okay, if I want to join, I want to bring a column into the other table, a column from one table to another, join in short. Must I go through transform in Power Query, or I can just do the merge on table view?
Yeah, so for that, one, you can do the merge on table view, or so when you have two tables, on this slot under data, you're going to have table number one appearing there, and table number 2 appearing there. As long as the two tables are related in a way, then there is just a way. You see the way we are selecting this data, you bring it here, this other data, you bring it here. So you just drag it. You can as well do that. But now, if you're supposed to merge it and make it one table, then you can use the merge. You can use the merge function in table view. Is that okay?
Yes. Very
Yes.
okay. Thank you, Wangari.
Okay. So what I have here is just a simple report, and this report was supposed to show the restaurants' sales that were made over. The restaurants. This is just a dashboard for a restaurant. They want to see how are the sales made based on different cuisines, the Chinese cuisine, the Indian cuisine, Thai, Mexican, and so on and so forth. So we have a slicer here. So if you decided to select the American cuisine, then you'll be able to tell this was the proportion, this was the average. Now this is a table, this is a donut chart. This of course is a column chart. Yeah, so those are just visualizations that you can use. We talked about maps. Yeah, so you just select the map and you just select the map and the details that show the different locations. Then it's going to be, a map is going to be automatically created. So that is basically what we had to learn about Power BI. Those are the basics. And I hope you guys can consider joining the program that is supposed to start come 3rd December. If you want to get deeper into all these things, into all the analytic tools that we were using. Without further ado, I think I've come to the end of our program, the data analytics program. Thank you for being such an engaging audience. It was nice having you in my class. And in case you have a question, just write it down on that Google form, then I'll be able to get back to you. Maybe in the course of before the end of the week. Yes. Levix, I think I'm done with the class, unless you have something that you want to add.
Thank you so much, Wangari Mushai, for that detailed training. Thanks a lot, and thanks everyone else for staying through up to this time. Could you please appreciate Wangari for that whole training? Let's appreciate her for the 3 days. It's been very insightful. Wangari, now you can take some water. I know you're thirsty.
I am.
But yes. Yeah, so we appreciate you guys for also staying through up to now. This was just a tip of the iceberg in terms of what we do with data analytics, data science, AI, and cybersecurity. So yeah, we've come to the end of the program, which was being done in partnership with the ICTA Authority. I don't know if they're around. Is John around? Derek, Zach, any of you around?
God, thank you. God, thank you.
John is there, perhaps, the ICT Authority side. If you're there, you can speak. But in the meantime, I think the session was very good, and we appreciate the trainer. It was very detailed, and we also thank the audience for being engaging and interactive. We had lots and lots of questions from yesterday, the other day, and today. That I believe some of them may not even have been answered because of time, but Wangari has done very well to answer most of them. I think I've seen a few also over the chat, but yes, there's that form we sent you or we shared with you earlier. You could fill it up. If you have any other question regarding this program, just fill up the form and then we will be able to reach out to you within the next, rather give you responses within the next few days. Yes. I think, Wangari, I don't know if you can share that last slide with the full details, because I've seen a lot of people asking about the full program. Because 3 days you're not able to actually cover much. So you can imagine if we have a full 6-month program, then there's a lot more to be covered. So Wangari, if you can help us share the other material. Yeah, this one here. Yeah, thanks. So guys, this is one of the programs we offer at DataBrid Africa. We offer, this is data analytics, business intelligence, and artificial intelligence, a 6-month program worth of 4 months technical and soft skills training, and then 2 months of internship. So you can see the content in there, some of the things we've covered on a high level here. You can imagine what we've, as deep as we have gone, it is just a section or just a bit of it. So definitely the program is very detailed. You can see we have a lot of other things, including AI, including SQL, MS, Excel, Power BI, Python, soft skills, and a couple of other things. So yeah, this is a program worth applying for. It's only Kenya shillings 40,000, payable on installments if you wish to explore, this kind of courses, just to ensure that you are secure in terms of skill sets and so on. You can be able to enroll for this. So this course will make you a data analyst, it will make you a data scientist, it will make you an AI specialist, it will make you a business intelligence specialist. It will help you with your work in accounting, with your work in HR, with your work in healthcare analysis, with your work in, government roles here and there. It will help you with financial analysis, AI things. There's just so many things that you can actually do by enrolling or by taking up skills that are entailed in this kind of program. So whether you're doing it at DataBrid Africa or whatever it is you're doing it, these are programs that are able to actually elevate you to the next level. They're actually able to put you in the next phase. Right now we are definitely, everybody is talking about digital skills, things to do with programming, things to do with AI, things to do with analysis, things to do with cybersecurity, and so on. So you must at least have one or two within your skill set so that you stay ahead of people. Things like AI, there are not so many people right now who know much about the detailed AI. So those are things you could run away with. Things like data analytics, the same, business intelligence, the same, cybersecurity, the same. And as the digital space grows, more opportunities also come up. So yeah, these are good programs. Maybe we'll open the floor for maybe feedback for 2-3 minutes, and then we close, and also for questions, if there is any. And if there is any ICTA person, you can be able to unmute and speak to us. If not, as we wait, we can be able to hear from everyone. Otherwise, Wangari Mushai, thanks a lot for the 3 days training. Yes, is there anything I need to address? Any question from the audience? Or maybe Wangari, if you have a last word. But I know you still be around, so yeah. Any question from the audience? And we also appreciate your feedback. We've seen a lot of warm feedback on the comment section, rather on the chat box, both here and on the other platforms, WhatsApp, YouTube, and our social media platforms, and so on. We appreciate your warm feedback, and we also appreciate Wangari for the program, as well as ICTA Authority for partnering with us to offer this kind of training. We are looking forward to doing more. And we apologize also. I think the other day we had quite a challenge of some people joining, but we've been able to, yesterday and today, extend other means of accessing the training. Yes, Georgina, you have your hand raised, Baraza as well, and Yasin. Maybe we can start with Georgina. Hi, Georgina, how are you? All right, we can go to Barasa, Brian. Georgina, I'm not sure if you're speaking to us. We can pick Barasa maybe. If you have a question or a comment or feedback, we are happy to hear from you.
Sorry? Okay, I'm really thankful for the program. I was asking, what about the notes? Where can I access it?
Yeah, the notes will be shared. We have shared so far the notes for day 1 and even yesterday, as well as the recordings and every other material that was associated with this program. So I believe so far so good. The notes are usually shared after the class, so we will share them after the class, either this evening or in the morning through our WhatsApp platform. I'm not sure if all of us are at least in the WhatsApp platform, because I know even these chats will be, as soon as the meeting is ended, you may not access them. So I want to believe all of us at least in the WhatsApp platform, or at least you're following our maybe LinkedIn profiles, that you can be able to access the material. Though I'll drop our LinkedIn profile on the chat. If you don't mind, just follow on it. I will appreciate. Just also to ensure that you are constantly updated on our programs. We do have these and many other programs almost on a weekly basis, so I'm sure you would be interested to keep up. I've also dropped the WhatsApp link on the chat. If you wish to join whichever, feel free to join either or both. Yes, I can see several hands up. Yes, Ian?
Yes, thank you, today's host and also Wangari. This was actually one of the best training I ever attended virtually. My concern was because I'm seeing the this coming training is coming on 3rd, and I wanted the same, but my plan was January. I don't know how we're going to make the same, because I can also sponsor someone also to do the same course that is from January. I don't know what arrangement do you have for that. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thanks a lot for your warm feedback, Yatin, and we appreciate. Thanks a lot. Wangari, you've gotten the flowers, and also in terms of the program, this is just the December intake. We also have other intakes all year round. After this, we have the January, February intake. So you're able to join, or the person you're sponsoring is also able to join around that time. Yes, I don't know if that answers your question well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. So we have intakes all year round. At intervals of usually about 2-3 months, we usually have intakes. So you're sure to at least get a program at many periods or many quarters in the year. Yes. Any other question? I've dropped the link. Yes, and I've dropped the link on the chat. You can just apply and express, rather comment that you'd like to join the January or February group, and we will be able to have your details in the database. I've shared the link over the chats.
Okay, a quick one.
Yes.
The guy who was just speaking right now, I have heard that once is willing to sponsor somebody. I don't know if that is. I'm requesting maybe I can be that person to be sponsored for that.
No, actually, I was sponsoring my immediate niece.
Okay, that's good. I hope that's clear. The lady who spoke to us.
But there are a lot of devolved fund around her from the CDF. She can approach the CDF committee and get the fund to do these studies, because it's very important. It's going to add value to the community.
Yeah, that's true. So I hope the lady, you've heard that. And also, even as data leadership, because sometimes we also understand the challenges here and there on money, we have a program where you can be able to individually support someone, and you can also be able to get some kind of discount from us. I'm trying to get where that bit is on the website. Just allow me to share. Allow me to share with you. So you can actually apply for some kind of help, even through our own official platforms. I'm trying to get a button to share my screen. But yes, as I get it, oh yeah, yeah. You can see my screen. You guys can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see.
Yes.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes.
All right. So this is our website, databricafrica.com. You can definitely log into it and check out what we do. Apart from trainings, we also have solutions, of course, to other businesses, things like cybersecurity and so on. So these are, of course, some of the programs, including what we've covered today. So on the bit of support, that is here at Database Africa Academy. So you can support someone if you have, because I know some of us here are, professionals already in their own field and so on and so forth. If you have, if you're not interested in enrolling for the full program, but you have your son or daughter or colleague or anybody in the public, you can be able to, support them through all these courses. We have lots of courses here you'll be able to check out. This is, where is it? Yes, it's here, get financial aid. So you come here, click onto it. You'll get you'll be led to the platform, fill it in, then we'll be able to evaluate your case. If you qualify for something, we can be able to support you, also give you some meaningful, discount. Then also here is if you want to support someone, just, do the same. And then at least with that way, we'll be able to all move together. I believe that is clear and makes a bit of sense. So yeah, just ensure you get into our website, check out our programs, check out what we do. Also, if you want to become, if you want any sort of clarification, you can be able to reach out to our teams. They'll be able to advise you. If you're also wondering whether you should enroll for this kind of program or whichever tech program you want to enroll for, reach out to us on our contacts listed here. These numbers, these two numbers or these two emails, info@databricafrica.com. For corporate, it's corporate@databricafrica.com and so on. So you can be able to reach out to us for any kind of advice and, and support. These are some of our partners in terms of technology. You can go through them at your own time just to be able to know about, what Database Africa does. I don't know if I'm looking at anybody with a question.
Yeah, maybe last one. I don't know whether you have a package for junior coders, the pupils in lower primaries.
Yeah, we do. We have.
They can learn virtually, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, they can learn virtually. Actually, let me open it here. We have a program called High School Tech Bootcamp. This is built for teenagers. If you can see my screen, where is that bit? This one here, you can see High School Tech Bootcamp. Huh?
Yeah, for primary schools or this high school.
Okay. It is. We've called it high school, but basically, if your kid is between the ages of 10 and 18, 10, 18, and 20, they're able to actually enroll for it. I don't know how old is your kid.
12 years.
Yeah. That's the right profile. So between 10 and 18 years, we have this program for them. It runs for 2 weeks. It is virtual. It is virtual and there's also the in-person version, but virtual is the most popular one. Yeah, you can see the fee there and so on and so forth. So yes, we have that program.
Okay, I'll interact with your website and then I'll see what to do.
That's okay. Then still with ICTA, I think we still have another program. I don't know if I can see the brochure around, but we still have another program also for, it's just a few hours program for December. I'm not sure if I'll get the poster around. Is it on the website? No. Yes. Give me a second as I get it. So I know this one you guys will be able to also see it through our site and also through ICTA's website or platforms. We'll have this other program in the month of December, around Jamhuri Day. So let me share it with you. You will also, if you need to enroll for it, you're also free to enroll for it. And we will be able to. Can you see it?
No.
Now?
Yes.
Yes, we can
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, okay, good. We have that program as well. It's just a 2-day program. Also, we are doing that with ICTA. So if you wish to enroll for this will be a quick one. You can see the subject is how your children can stay smart and safe in the diverse online world. So you can keep this in mind, enroll in time so that you get the reminders. This is of course just an overview, but I've shown you the more detailed course that can be able to also, to a great extent, elevate your kids and also prepare them to be digitally ready in terms of skill set. So the aim of this high school tech program is basically to ensure your kid is endowed with these skills in time. But when they get to that age where they need to choose their subject, at least they are not so surprised. It doesn't become so complex that they run away from technology. Technology today is one of the best fields. So it is just to prepare them mindset in terms of mindset and in terms of skill set. Yeah, I don't know if there's another question.
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's around on the training around data analysis and Power BI.
All right.
My question is on the fee. Is it a one-time fee whereby you pay once, or it's done on installments?
It's done on installment.
Okay.
Yeah, so the full data analytics course 6-month program is 40,000. You pay a minimum of 35% to get started.
Okay.
Other than the balance is paid on installments. Yeah. That's
okay.
clear.
Yes, thanks for that.
All right, thank you.
You said the 35%.
Yeah, 35%. That's equivalent to 14,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse
All right.
me, a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for the training. In fact, it was so productive. As a digital marketer, I feel the need of the course of the data marketing. So, was happening. Most
The
of
other
us are
person
not in
kindly
the
mute. Somebody is speaking also. Let me just mute everyone and then you can unmute Alice. Is that Alice? All right, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, I was saying that as a digital marketer, I feel the need of the course data marketing. And kindly also share the WhatsApp link. Most of us, we were getting the link from friends who are in the WhatsApp. And the course, if we enroll for December, it will be going up to May. Or
Yes,
the
6
course
months.
is
6 months, that is yes, May, yeah, you're right.
okay, so there is no other extra cost.
Extra cost in terms of?
In terms of like you pay for exams, some you do like you're told you pay for certificates after paying the
No,
teaching.
that 40,000 covers everything in terms of learning, certification, and everything that is required. But there will be an extra 1,000, which is payable by the time you're finishing. That is now by the time you're finishing for graduation. So, yeah, but the key bit is the 40K for the program, which covers everything, learning, and even the internship and so on.
Okay, my question also was like, how flexible are your teaching modules? Because maybe the time, like, is it like in person or is it inclusive of both?
Yeah, so we have both in person and virtual, but this particular one is virtual. It happens during the week, Tuesday to Thursday. We have group 7 to 9 p.m., 2 hours a day, Tuesday to Thursday, and also 8 to 10 p.m., 2 hours a day, Tuesday to Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll follow up from you from the website.
That's okay. We've dropped the link, the registration link. You can register. It's on the chat as well, and you can also get it on the website. Any other questions? All right, thanks, and thanks as well, Elizabeth, for your warm feedback.
Me, I had a question.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, you said there was assessment after this session. For those who attended for the 3 days, let's say, and you fill the attendance sheet, how will they be assessed after this, maybe?
The attendance sheet has your timestamp, it has your details. So ICTA will be able to share with you an email and guidelines on how to proceed. Whatever materials that you need, whether there'll be assessments, that will be shared on email to everyone. And so we also appreciate those who have been able to fill the attendance list. Please, everyone, ensure you have the list filled, at least so that you don't waste your 3 days here. As much as you've gained the skills, you also require the certificate to showcase that you have been able to, train and get trained and learn these particular skills. Yeah, does that answer your question, the gentleman who asked?
Yeah, thank you. So the certificate will be after the assessment.
Yes. John is around, or Derek, you can confirm. But yes, the certificate will be there after the assessment. If not, then they will be able to send you information, I believe, tomorrow or in the weekend or early next week on what is to be done.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anyone else with any question or feedback?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Thanks to Madam Wangari for the great work done. It was really my first online session that was really, really wonderful. Now, on my question, will there be any other cohort apart from the one of December, and when will that be? Thank you.
Yeah, yes. All right, thank you. Thank you for that warm feedback. Noted by Wangari as well. And yes, there'll be another intake after the December intake. So that is January, February group. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. But you can just register so that you have your
details,
so that you get updates on the exact date that the other cohort will start their classes.
All right, I will definitely reach out. Thank you.
Thank you as well. Someone else before we close? I can see it's already past 9. Right, I want to believe we are all good. I just ensure you have the attendance list filled and you also following either ICTA or Database Africa, just to ensure you're updated on this kind of programs that we normally do with ICTA and some of our other other partners. So yes, we're looking forward to more. We're looking forward to such engaging audiences again. And we appreciate you for the time. We appreciate you for sparing your time and even resources in terms of internet and so on, be able to attend this particular training. If you have any questions, you are able to reach out to ICTA team, you're able to reach out to the Database Africa team, and we shall definitely assist you. We'll be having these and more trainings, of course, on data, on tech, on cybersecurity, on AI. So just ensure that you have our contacts or you have our channels with you. Otherwise, we appreciate all of you for being around. Have a good night. Thank you.